Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back. As always, thank you for the support. You've no idea how much it really does mean to me. So today I'm going to be playing with the Hunkydory magazine, purely because Mum wanted me to make a card with the kit from it. So I'll just quickly go through what is in the magazine, and this is magazine number 19. So you've got the happy birthday die. You've got yourself some stamps, and you've got this lovely embossing folder. You've got your magazine packed full with loads of information, tips and tricks. And then you also get these two kits. So you've got the Cottage garden with the foiled cardstock, and again foiled cardstock. And then you've got this country living with the house and printed cardstock to match. You've also got a couple of inserts. I think there's 4 there. And then you've got these double-sided printed papers. I think this is coming into the next part of the kit now. Let's just turn that around. So this is Pretty Posies. So you've got your pretty in pink with your wellies and your cage. Got the foiled flowers, bird cage, beautiful little wildflowers coming through there, a couple of birds. Your bird on the bucket with the wildflowers, and then the foiled. And then again you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 inserts. Okay, so I am going to be playing with the Cottage garden part of the kit, which is this one, the homegrown, sorry. So I'm just going to pop everything else back in the magazine for a second. Okay, so the first card I'm going to be making is using the country living kit. So and it's going to be using this square topper. So I'm going to start with a piece of white card, which is 16 inches long. And if I bring in the scoreboard, and bear in mind I've got the mini one, so if you've got the larger one, it's probably going to be easier for you to do this. But I'm just going to score on that 8-inch line. Now I'm going to turn that around and just score it again. Match that up nicely. And this is Crafter's Companion multi-purpose cardstock. There we go. And I'm going to bring in my trimmer, open up the arm, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of that side, so I'm trimming this down to an 8-inch card blank. To neaten that up, let's just go outside. Just a little fluffy there. So what I'm going to do is just put it back in. I think it's because there's a bit of debris in the channel, needs cleaning out really. Let me just put that in. Just do that again. So that's a nice sharp cut. Because it's at the back, it's not going to be noticed. Okay, put those bits out of the way. So now we've got our 8x8 card blank. Oops. I'm just going to go ahead and just give that another really good score down, and hopefully that should stand a little better. And I'll pop that onto the side there. So the next one I want to do is going to be the next layer. So for this I'm going to need gold because we've got gold foiling on the kit, and I'm going to come in at, shall I come in about 7.5, I think, so 7.5. Just check the border size on that. I want to go a bit smaller. Actually, I'm going to go down to 7. Sorry guys. So 7 by 7. I just wanted there to be quite a nice thick border all the way around, but also it means that I'm not cutting into my backing card quite so much. It gives me a chance of making another decent sized card. I'll show you what I mean. So that's 7 by 7, and then I'm going to bring in the foiled cardstock, which is this one here, and I'm going to bring that to 2 notches under the 7. Let's see where we're at. So I think it's going to be easier for me just to take some of that off. So let me take that off at the brown there. I'm going to have a wider border at the top, I think. Okay. Yep, I'm happy with that. And these pieces, obviously don't throw them away, you can use them for borders. And like I say, so this piece here, this is just under 5 inches, so you can make a 5 by 5 card with that, nice and easy. So the other piece I want to do is to take one of the papers. Let's see which one I've got here. I think I wanted the other one. Let me just see if I've got that with the other part of the kit. Okay, so the other one is this one here. I don't think I really want the brick. I think the other one's too floral, so I am going to go with this one here. Just going to bring that down. And I'm going to cut this paper at 1 inch. Cut quite nicely on this trimmer. And then we want that to go to 7. And then I'm just going to bring in another piece of gold, and I'm going to cut that 2 notches above the 1 inch. And again to the 7. There we go, and then that should fit on there quite nicely. There we go. So I'll pop that away in a second and we can do a little bit of assembling. May get it all done. So I'm going to come in very carefully with my all-purpose glue. Just try not to get too close to the edges just because we're going onto that mirror card. And obviously just remember, when you pop it down, once you press it down, it is going to smush a little bit. So you just want to make sure you haven't put too much on there that it smooshes out the sides. You just want to smush it where it needs to go. Okay, so that's that bit there. And then coming back to my card blank, I am having this as a tent fold. Okay, so again with my all-purpose glue, this is the Crafter's Companion one. A nice amount of glue on there, and then put that onto the center. And we said we were going to have the larger border at the top. So I'm going to put that just onto there. A nice press down, make sure it's nice and even. Okay, And then if I bring the actual topper in, so we're using this lovely house with a little cat walking across it. I don't know if you can just pick that up. Could be a dog, I suppose, but I think it is a cat, because in the other pack there's another cat. So there's that one. And I think, let's have a look. I think we'll probably go maybe many thanks. I might change my mind once I get there, but you know what I'm like. We'll go with that one for now. So I'm going to pop all of these little layers out. You know, I never or hardly ever use the layers as they are unless I've got a reason to do so. So we've got this one. We've got that one and our house, and then we've got our border. Okay, so first of all I'm going to pop my border on. So I'm going to use just a small piece of foam. I think this is about 2mm. So this is the foam pad, Hunkydory foam pad, obviously. So yeah, it's about 2mm. So I just want a little bit of height, but I'm not going super crazy. And that's moved. I can see that I'm poking out the end. Okay, so just be a bit more mindful of that. Into there. And if I grab my scissors, just get a bit for each end, just that it's well supported at the ends. So that's not moved again. Just peeling these backs off. And I'll just pop a little bit of tacky glue on, you know I always do. Just to give me that little bit of wiggle time. And then I'm going to come around about and that's just going straight across, and I've got a bit of glue coming out now, but I think that is going to be hidden by the time we put our topper on. Okay, so this is going to come up, so I want this on the same level. So really I only need to put foam pads. I'm going to put a little bit on the bottom here and then just round these tops. I'm thinking these will probably be a little bit too thick, so I'm going to go with the thinner ones. So I don't think it matters which way I go. Thinking, yeah, I'm going to go that way, so we just pop a little bit on the bottom. And a little bit at the top. Let's just see how that sits. Just need a little bit on the edges, I think, just to give it that bit of extra support. So just cut a piece off there and there. Down, let's see how that feels. Yeah, that's feeling much better. So I'm just going to take these backs off and we will pop that down. Oops, they want to come off. Okay, now I'm just going to come in with my tacky glue again. I'm just going to pop a bit there, just so that will be where that is. And we're coming over like this, over the top. And then this piece I am going to snip into, so if I come about there and there, I can trim it a little more if I need to. So let's go more on that one. More on this one. I just want to pop that in and behind there. I could have done it beforehand, but I wanted to get this piece where I wanted it first of all, so that's the reason why I've saved this bit till last, or nearly last. So I'm just going to put some tacky glue on, just a little bit on there. I'm going to take this smidge off the bottom again. And that should fit in quite nicely. Okay, and then we've got this piece, and this is going to come a little higher again, so I'm going to be using some Crafter's Companion ones on there. So these are the 3mm ones. So again, I don't need to be putting them all over, so I only need to go from around about there. So if I pop that like so, then I know I've only got to go in this top part. And these are quite a nice chunky pad as well. And they are, I believe they are 3mm long, high, so quite a nice bit of depth from. Let's just see what that looks like. Yeah, that's fine. And I'm not sure if I can get away with popping one of these smaller ones behind. I don't want it to be particularly a lot higher than there, so what I'm going to do is use a little bit of glue gel, and then that should self level. So we just pop these pads off again, and obviously I do use a lot of foam pads at the minute, but if you prefer to use your 3D glue gel, or you know, if there's some other type of glue that you prefer to use, then you know, you use the glue that you're happy with. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of 3D glue there, oops, and there, and there. Hopefully that's not gone in the wrong place. And then excuse my head, just popping that there. Yeah, so there's just a tiny bit of height there. If you've got a 1mm pad, that would probably be perfect, but that's, I haven't got one to hand at the moment. Okay, so I'm just going to see if I want to use this anywhere, just to add a little bit of dimension, or you know, just a bit of interest. So let's have a see. Because we got that. We keep come across there. It's just when I got these little bits in the foiled, I really hate not using them. Okay, so I think what I might do is just pop need to cut it to about there. Let's see if we can get this to work. It's real fingers and thumbs today. And I just want to check that that's sort of level with where that other one was. So actual it need to be a little bit lower, so let's just take another little bit off. So what I'm looking at is at the first bend of this, so it should look a little bit like, yeah, I think that'll work. It should look a little bit like you know, is it called dovecot? You know, when they do the panels on the wall. So just put that there. Just going to go across there again. Yeah. It's just, you know, rather than wasting it. This one I'm going to go in with a small foam pad just to raise that off there. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to start coughing, bear with me. Sorry, just got a bit of a cold coming, so which is never good. So we've got our many thanks that we're going to pop onto there. Then for gems, so I kind of thought if I had some green gems I would go with the green ones, but I haven't got any. I don't think I have any of the gold ones. So what I thought I'd do is pick up on the black, and there's sort of little in bits of darker colour there, and I'll come in with a couple of black pearls. So just pop these in, and these are probably about a 3mm or a 4mm, something like that. So I'm just going to come in, sorry my glue's just pooling a little bit, so I'm going to come in with 3 there, pick up a tool, I'm just going to turn that round, and we are going 3 along here. And I'm just going to pop one in this corner. We'll just straighten those out a bit in a second. That last lot was not very straight. There we go. And so that's the first card done. With that idea there. Like I say, if you do get these little bits, you know, sometimes you can just sneak them on the card just to add a little bit of detail. I'm just going to check the other toppers on here to see if there's anything else I want to add. So there is a little wheelbarrow, but I don't think I want to pop that in. Although it might look quite nice if I popped it like so, slightly lower. 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. It would work. It would work. So I'm going to come in. It will be a Crafter's Companion pad, so it's going to be 3mm, but it is going to be lower than this one because it's going to be on the base of the card rather than up on that, because it's raised on this border that I made. So let's just put that. So there we go. So we've got our barrow. Okay, so now I'm done. Now I'm happy. Okay, so that's the first one done. No, it's not. Let me grab an insert and we'll pop that in. So we want, not that house, border, so we can use that one, or we can use that house. Let's use that house because we don't know what is going to happen with the other card. So I'm going to grab the Hunkydory guillotine, just purely because it cuts a little better with these inserts than my trimmer does sometimes. So I'm just going to pop this, oops, try not to drop it, put this insert on here, and I'm just going to mark 8 inches there and 8 inches there, and I can just come a little smaller because this is the mini trimmer and it only goes up to 6. So if we pop our little arm up, just come over, my marks there, so just a little bit shy of that, and then again taking some off the top, and that should fit nicely into our card. Let's have a little look. Very nicely. Okay, let's just glue that one in. Keep that bit of insert paper. I never know when that's going to come in. And if I just open that up, I'm going to pop a little bit of all-purpose just at the top. And then we'll pop that in. If you wanted to, you could stamp a sentiment on here, carrying on with that theme. Oops. The many thanks, or you could use a die cut, or you could have used, could have used a topper, even go in with a topper. There we go. So that is card number 1 done, complete with its insert. So I'm just going to clear up a little bit, and then we'll start on card number 2. Okay, so for the second card I'm going to be using this topper from the Cottage garden on the homegrown, and I'm going to be needing that one. So let's just pop that out the way a second and move that to the side. So for this one I'm going to be making a card that's going to be needing a 7x7 envelope. So if I bring in my scoreboard, and we're going to start by scoring that at 7 inches. So this, it was an A3 piece of Crafter's Companion multi-purpose, which I use my mat because my trimmer only goes up to 12 inches. I measured on my mat 14 and then trimmed it up. So now this should fold quite nicely. Bring it down. Okay, I bring in the trimmer, and I'm going to take that to take it just over the 7. Should go right the way through. There we go. And again on the other side. I'm asking a lot of this little trimmer to go through 2 layers, and then I'm just going to check that's fine. Okay, and then I'm going to open this up, pop my crease on the line, and then I'm going to move that to about 3.5. just going to cut that away. So we're going to make a little cutaway card. It's going to be the best way to do this without put that in. I'll have to do that bit with my knife and hope we get it nice and straight. So let's bring that in. I think so we did fold it that way. Okay. So what I'm going to do, just to try and keep this nice and straight, put this on here, and then 3.5 inches there. Just check when that goes up, so it does go there. A nice sharp scalpel, metal edge ruler. I'm just popping that down. What I'm going to do is just tidy up this edge because it's just cut it right on the crease, so it's just made it look a little fluffy. So let's just tidy that a little bit. Okay, so now we've got our cutaway 7x7 card. Pop that little magnetic ruler back. I love that ruler, it sticks to the leg of my table, so I literally can't lose it. Okay, so that's the start of our card. So 7x7, and we've got our cutaway. Okay, so I'm going to come in again with the gold, just because we've got that gold foiling, and I'm going to come in at 6 3/4. No, I'm not. I'm going to come 2 notches under the 7. Let's stay with what I like. And that should fit nicely onto the back, like so. And then this piece here, if we come 2 notches under the 3.5 by 2 notches under the 7, and hopefully that should fit on there quite nicely, and it does. Okay, so then we just want our next piece. So I wanted more of this back in, you know, the house to be sort of for another topper. So I'm going to bring this down to 6 3/4 and trim it that way. And then I have to decide whether I want to keep that border or whether I want to cut some of the garden. So if I cut it down to, let's keep that away. So I cut it down to there. Okay, what I think I'm going to do is just cut along the edge of this gold border there. So I've still got that bit of foiling, and then I can go down to the 4 notches under the 7 and just cut that little bit off there. Sorry, coughing again. So it should look like that gold is coming into our picture, and it does. So just bringing that in, so that's quite nice. And then for this edge here, I was going to use some of the papers. So let me just grab those. That's those. Bear with me 2 seconds. So we've got the choice of this one, or we've got the brick one. So let's have a look. See, that one's got all the houses on, so that looks like the village. I think we'll go with that pattern there. So that one we went to 3.5 minus 2 notches, so I'm going to go to 3 1/4. Just going to check that fits nicely at the top, and it does. And then 4 notches under the 7. Okay, so that's those. We're not doing a border on this one, not unless I pop the one on that's already there. Right, okay, so I think we are where we need to be for a second. So I'll pop that trimmer out of the way. I'm just going to assemble this bit first of all. So we've got our all-purpose glue again. Oops. Sorry, sometimes you get the strings. And I don't think you can see them on the actual camera, so it might look like I've just gone a little weird. But it's because the glue sometimes, especially if it's been open a little while, it has sort of little stringy bits sometimes. And if you get that bit on your mirror card, sometimes that can be disastrous. Well, not major disastrous, but minor disastrous. Okay, so we've got that one down. And then this one I want to glue onto here. Again, just being a little careful with this glue. I am just going to pop a little bit of tacky glue in the corners, just because I don't want that to be moving, because I am going to be doing something else with this in a second before I stick that on to my card. So move that out of the way. Just make sure that's nice and straight, and it is. Okay, so I'm going to bring in some ribbon. I've got brown and I've got green, and I wasn't sure whether I was going to use the brown. I'm going to use the brown and the green. Okay, so I'm going to need a little bit of red tape, and just take a piece like so, and I'm going to put that way there, and I want a piece on the bottom, maybe not quite, so that's going, that will be the bottom side. So we just work this out. Have I got it the wrong way around? Have I put it in the wrong place already? So that should be there, so we'll ignore that one. And then we've got two that side, and then we want one that side as well. Okay, so I'm just going to burnish all these down. And then I just want to cut some pieces of ribbon to fit. So I want a piece about there, I think. Another piece about there. And a piece about there. So we'll pop those to the side for later. I'll put that one at the bottom and that one at the top. So let's start by taking this tape off. It decides to come off, and I'm going to have the brown one first of all. Just going to go like so. So I might need to some more tape. And again, I'll just give that a good burnish down. Should be able to get that one nice and straight, like so. And then I want the green piece. Do I want that to come below it? Just going to tighten that a little bit. There. This will come over here. So my advice to you would be, let's not put the sticky on until we know where it's going. Okay, so just want that tiny gap between those two. That's on there, and I'm happy with that. Let's see how it works out with this one, whether we still need to pop another bit on. I'm guessing we probably will. Just a tiny bit there. Pretty much nowhere near. Okay. Okay, let's just check it on the other side. Make sure it's all nice and tight. It's holding on to this, that's fine. Okay, so now we can go ahead and just pop our all-purpose glue on. I always make sure I put some all over the ribbons, just because it sticks, adds another bit of stick to it. There's probably more glue on there than I needed. Let's see what this does. Just going to put that straight on onto there. There we go. And that's where we're at. Okay. So then we're going to pop this topper out. So we've got that one there, and I wanted the Home Sweet Home one. Might use some of the others, but at the moment I'm planning just to use those. So and I'm keeping these together. You know, I said on the last card I try not to separate them unless there's a good reason. I'm just, because it would be, if I take that off and glue it on separately, that little thin one, it does make it a slightly weaker point for bending and such with the cards. So if I keep those two together, they just sort of support each other a bit. So that's why I'm not gonna do anything with those. So I'm just gonna pop some tacky glue about halfway around on there. I don't think there's a right or a wrong way. No, there's not. So I'm just going to pop that like so. It's just slightly to the left, just so that I've got a bit more on there, a bit more on the actual card, rather than floating it in thin air. And then I'm going to come back to these Crafters Companion ones. So want to go, let's just pop that across there, just that I know I'm only putting pads in this area. And what I also do is just make sure I put some glue covering both of those layers, so I've got that thinner layer and that other layer on the same pad, so they are, the pads effectively making sure they stay together. Oops. Let's just make sure that is there. Just seeing whether I could get another one on there. I don't think I would. What I could do is just give one a little trim and just put here a piece just at that edge. Doesn't look off. There we go. Just sticking to the back end because I'd taken it out. So there we go. And I'm just going to give that a good forward, just so that it stands proud. And the important thing with this one would be to make a boxalope or a box for it, because if you put it through the post without supporting this bit that's hanging over, it will bend, and sadly it will look like that once it's on the shelf. So it's important to try and keep it quite well supported by boxalope or box. Okay, so again, excuse my head if it's in. There we go, so we've got that there, like so. And then we've got our little tag here. So if I grab a little pokey tool, just poke out that little hole. And this is going to come down here again on this nice chunky pad. See if I can get that other little bit on there, and that would be fabulous. So just taking these pads off again. There we go. I'll put that into there, and then I'm going to grab these two bits of ribbon. I haven't got huge pieces, but put them together, and then actually I have to bring my bow maker back up. Let's bring that in, and look at this one. So now I have to remember it. I always forget how to use it once I haven't used it for a while. So that's going to go over under. Actually, the next size up, so let's see what this comes out like. Oops, and you, Mr. Brown. Let's go through it with your friend, Mr. Green. Let's have a good look. See. It needs to be the next size. Bear with me. Let's just do that again. On this side. The thing about the bow maker is it's easy to make the bows, but it does make quite tight bows, which sometimes if you're trying to do this with two colours, it doesn't really show it as well, I don't think, as if you make the bow yourself, which would be a little looser. But let's put it through. Come on. Where's the other one gone? Big fat fingers trying to make a nice delicate bow. Let's have a look at that. That's a bit better. You can pull those out a little bit carefully. There we go. So we've got that hint of green. There we are. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So let's just, apologies if you can hear the neighbours. As always, they're on their way out. Here we go. So we've got our little ribbons here. Actually, might cut those a little bit shorter. And I'm going to use my 3D glue gel just because I find it's the best thing. So if I just plop some in that little hole, put that on. If you've got any little gold keys, I did think about using the silver keys from the Sarah Signature Alice Through the Looking Glass kit, but because they're silver, I don't think they would go as well. Okay. So then the last thing is going to be a couple of gems. So let's just have a look and see if I've got some brown ones. Okay, so I found these ones. I think I used these. I've just got a clue gem there. Let me put that back in my little drawer. And I think I'm going to use these sort of creamy ones and then the darker ones on this side. So if I just clean that little nib off, just going to go with 3 there. So just pop. They are self-adhesive, but I always just put an extra bit on just so that they stay stuck forever. Just get that in the right way. Okay. And then coming down into this side. And I used the medium one on there, didn't I? So let's just pop that on there. And I like doing on gems like this way because to me it looks like little faces. So I do like it. So, and I'm just going to put 1 on this side just to make my odd number, lucky number 7. I'm not so lucky for that gem. It just got fired into space. There we go. Okay, so let me move that one out of the way and bring the first one back in. So that's today's makes with that kit. So that's coming up a little bit, so I'll just put a bit more glue on that in a second. With that homegrown kit from magazine number 19, just 2 different sort of ideas on what to do with that. Next time back to Crafter's Companion. I've sort of got an idea brewing on what I want to do with that. But it's not fully grown yet, so but hopefully it will be as nice as the last couple of cards that I've done. I'm not sure if I'm going to be using the glitter on it next time, but we'll see how that goes. Thank you for watching today. As always, thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. Just blows my mind, it really does, when you see the numbers sort of go up like they have been recently. But if there's any questions or queries, just drop me a comment down there. I'll do my best to help. But until then, take care of yourself. Bye bye.